Now that you know your starting stitches, you can go ahead and undo the yarn, because for the hat, we're going to start with the magic circle. So you don't have a chain anymore in the yarn. That was just to get the amount of stitches so that you know how many stitches need to go for the circumference of the head. So for this style of yarn, I need 70. So I'm going to be showing you how to increase and get to the 70 stitches that you need. The first thing we're going to do is start with the magic circle. So now you're just going to take the yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers. Oop, try that again. And then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, put it under those 2 loops around the middle finger, and then I'm using the 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. I'm going to bring up a loop, then I'm going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for my slip knot. Then I'm going to go back into the center again, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops for a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. So that's going to count as your starting double crochet, and we're going to keep making double crochets into the circle until we have a total of 18 double crochet, including the starting double crochet. So that counts as 1. Go ahead and yarn over, go into the center of the magic circle, bring up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through 2 of the loops. You have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the remaining 2 loops for your second double crochet. I'm going to make another double crochet. There's my third double crochet. So I'm going to make one more with you, and then you're going to continue until you have a total of 18 double crochet into the center of your magic circle. And then come back. So I just finished 18 double crochet into the magic circle, and what's nice is you can take and move over the stitches if you need to. Then just take your forefinger and thumb and hold the base of the 18 double crochet, and then you're going to have these 2 loops on the opposite side of the magic circle. You're going to take and pull on one of them. If it doesn't close, let go and then pull on the other one, and then just gently close the center as much as you can. Don't worry if you don't get it closed all the way. We can close it more later. Then just take that loose yarn end and pull on that gently. Then you're going to turn your work. You can see how you have a nice circle of 18 double crochet. And then you're going to take that starting double crochet that you made, and you can see, I'm going to bring a close-up in for you. So this is the starting double crochet. So here is the first chain. I'm going to call it a chain, even though remember we made a single crochet. I'm going to call it the first chain of the starting double crochet. You have your second and then your third, and this is the top chain of that starting double crochet. You're going to take your crochet hook and go into that top chain. So take your crochet hook, go into that top chain of that starting double crochet. You're going to bring up a loop, and then just continue to bring the loop through the other loop for a slip stitch. So you just made a slip stitch. So this is going to be your starting double crochet for the second round. So you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's your starting double crochet for the next round. And what you're going to want to do is keep track of the double crochets around the circle. So remember, there's a total of 18 around. So here is the top of the double crochet, top stitch, and then below it is the post. So when I say post, I'm talking about this part of the double crochet. So this is the post of the double crochet. Before we get started, we're going to take and close the center of the magic circle if you need to, and by doing that you just turn your work over, take that loose yarn end, and then just pull, gently pull on the loose yarn end until the center is completely closed. So now for a beginner, this is going to be the trickiest part, so don't get discouraged if this part seems a little bit difficult. Once you get past this initial part, it gets a little bit easier because then your stitches are further apart. But right now you have to keep track of the posts because we're going to be doing a lot of back post double crochet. Now before we begin, you're going to have to keep track of your right side and the wrong side, because the cables you want on the right side. So you want your cables to look like this on the right side, and then on the wrong side you'll have these ridges that are created. So go ahead and turn your work around so that the wrong side, or the end with your loose yarn end in the magic circle, is facing you. So this is the wrong side. Then you want to make sure that your double crochets are lined up. So this is the second round, which is lined up with the first round's double crochet, because you want to make sure that you're working into the correct stitch. So the next stitch would be the next stitch double crochet over. So that would be right here, would be the next stitch above the post of the next double crochet. So now you're going to make 2 double crochet into the next stitch. And I go through both loops. There's 1 and 2. So now we're going to make our first back post double crochet. So I'm going to show you. Here is the next stitch, and here is the space before the post of the next double crochet, and then this is the space after the post of the next double crochet. So you're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to yarn over, you're going to go behind the magic circle, you're going to come into the space before the post of the next double crochet, you're going to go across the front of the post of the next double crochet, and then go back through the space after the post. And then you have the post on the back of your crochet hook, which is how it gets its name, back post double crochet, because the post is on the back of your crochet hook. And then you can see how my crochet hook crosses the front of the next stitch, the post of the next stitch. Now you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to bring the yarn back across and bring up a loop. And then you're going to create your double crochet. So you just finished 1 back post double crochet. Now on the next stitch you're going to make 2 back post double crochet around the same post. So it's a little bit tricky. Yarn over, I'm going behind the magic circle. Make sure you grab the right stitch. You want to go around the right post of the next stitch. and then you're going to bring up a loop, make my double crochet, then you're going to make another back post double crochet around the same post. So you're still increasing the number of stitches by making 2 around the same post. So now you can see how I have 2 back post double crochet around the same post. Now we're going to repeat this set one more time. So in the next stitch we're going to make 1 back post double crochet. So just double check and make sure that you have the right post so you know which one you're working around. And then I'm going to make 2 back post double crochet around the next post. So now, this set that you just created, the 1 back post double crochet around 1 stitch, 2 back post double crochet around the next stitch, 1 back post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet, this is going to be 1 cable. So now, in the next stitch, you're not going to be working around the post. You're going to be working into the top stitch of the next double crochet. So make sure that you have the right stitch. Make 1 double crochet, and then you're going to make 2 double crochet into the second stitch. And this is the space between your cables. So you can see how you have a ridge on the back created by the back post double crochet, and on the front you can see how you have the start of your cables. And then this is the space between your cables. So now we're going to make a back post double crochet into around the next stitch. Because this is tricky, I'm going to be working the whole thing with you, so I won't be cutting off. That way you can see how I make mine. So there's 1. And then I'm going to make 2 back post double crochet around the next post. And again, you can see how I'm checking to make sure that I have the post, the right post, so my count will be the same. And I'll be giving you my count after we're done. So again, this is tricky. It might take you a little practice. It looks like I'm making it look easy. Once you have enough practice, it'll be easy for you as well. So I did 1 set, 1 back post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet. Now the next one will be 1 back post double crochet, and then I'm going to make 2 back post double crochet around the next one, So I finished the set for my second cable. Then into the next stitch, I'm going to make 1 double crochet. And then 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Then I'm going to be making my last cable stitches. So I'm going to make 1 back post double crochet, around the next post, 2 back post double crochet around the next post, do that again. Then if you did it right, you should have 2 stitches left. If you don't, that means unfortunately you're going to have to undo and then try again. Sometimes when you undo it, it already has spaces. It makes it a little bit easier the second time around. Hopefully you won't have to. Hopefully you ended up with 2. But if you didn't, you're going to have to start over again if you want your work to come out the same as mine. It just means that you made a mistake somewhere along the line. And then my last stitch. Sometimes it's a good idea too, especially if you're having trouble with this, to use a cheaper yarn. Don't use the fancy yarn for your first attempt if you're having trouble. Sometimes it's a little bit easier with the different kind of yarn. Okay, then when you're finished, you just make a slip stitch into the top stitch of your first chain 3 that you made. So this is my first chain 3. I'm going to go into that top stitch. Now this is important that you get into the top stitch and you don't get into the top stitch of your next stitch on the next round. Then make your slip stitch. And then you finished your second round. You can go ahead and chain 3 to start your third round. Before we start the third round, I'm going to give you the count of your second round. So I have 27 stitches in that round. And remember, when we first started, I said I'm going to need a stitch count of 70. So we still have a ways to go to get to my stitch count of 70, but you can see that with each increased round, you're going to increase the number of stitches, and when you get to the stitch count of your measurement, your starting measurement or starting chain, remember mine was 70, then I know that that's where I stop, and I no longer increase. So I no longer make increase rounds. So for this next increase round, again, this first chain 3 counts as 1. In my second stitch, I'm going to make 1 single crochet. And then in my third stitch, I'm going to make 2 single crochet in the same, 2 double crochet, sorry about that, in the same stitch. So my starting double crochet chain 3 starts as 1 double crochet, next stitch 1 double crochet, third stitch 2 double crochet in the same stitch. So now you reached your first back post double crochet. So you're going to repeat the same pattern, 1 double crochet into 2 and then 2 double crochet into the third. But with the back post, you're going to be making a back post double crochet. So you yarn over, go around the next stitch, which is a back post from the previous row, and make a back post double crochet. So that's one back post double crochet. Then you're going to make one back post double crochet around the next stitch. And then two back post double crochet around the third stitch. And you could see that the more rounds that you get out, the easier it is because your stitches are further apart. They're not crammed together in your magic circle. So it gets easier and easier to make those back post double crochet. So now remember, we need to make one more set, one double crochet, and again you want to make sure you're around the right post so you get the right number at the end. So I have one double crochet, back post, double crochet, one back post double crochet around the second stitch, and then two back post double crochet around the third stitch. And if you did it correctly, I'll show you in a minute. We just finished the two. Now if you did it correctly, your back post double crochet should be all worked around, and now you're at your regular stitch. So don't miss that regular stitch. Remember, you had 3 from the previous round. So in the next stitch, you're going to make one double crochet, one double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochet into the third stitch. So you can see how the pattern, if at any time you don't fall correctly on the ridge for the back post double crochet, or the number doesn't match, then you know you've done something wrong and that you need to go back. So here you can see how it matched up perfectly for the space between my cable. Now I'm at my next back post for my next cable. So I'm going to complete this set with you. One back post double crochet, one back post double crochet around the next one, two back post double crochet around the next stitch, and then you have one more set left. So one back post double crochet around the next stitch, one back post double crochet around the next stitch, two back post double crochet around your last back post, which shows me that I lined it up perfectly and my stitches are the way they're supposed to be. Now I'm at my space between my cables. I'm going to make one double crochet into the next stitch, one double crochet into the next stitch, two double crochet into the last stitch, and then that brings me to my last set for the cables. So again, one back post double crochet in the first one, one back post double crochet into the second, and then 2 back post double crochet around the next one. And the last set. So you could see that yours should fall just like mine. You should have the 3 stitches left. If you don't, then that means that you've done something wrong for the round. So you'll have to undo it and find where the mistake was made before you continue on. So now my last stitch will be the 2 back post double crochet to finish the round. See how it matches up perfectly. That's how yours should be doing as well. Then I'm going to make my slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3. Make my slip stitch. Then you're ready for your 4th round. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now chain 3 for your 4th. So for that last round, I had 36 stitches in the round. So now for this next increase round, this first chain 3 again counts as my first double crochet. And then I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the second stitch. 1 double crochet into the third stitch. And then 2 double crochet into that 4th stitch. And that will bring me to my first back post double crochet for the cables. So I'm going to only work this round since you've got the back post double crochets down. I'm only going to work the first cable with you. So in the next stitch, I'm going to make 1 back post double crochet. Second stitch, 1 back post double crochet. Third stitch, 1 back post double crochet. And then 2 back post double crochet around that 4th post. And then I completed 1 set. Now I'm going to make another set. Make sure you don't skip a post. 1 back post double crochet around the first one. 1 back post double crochet around the second. 1 back post double crochet around the third. And then 2 back post double crochet around that last back post. And then you're ready for the space between the cables. So you can see how everything matches up perfectly. I finished the 1 set, the 2 sets I should say, for the cable. Brings me to the space between the cable, and then your next cable, space between the cable, and last cable. So now for the space between the cable, you're going to make 1 double crochet into that first stitch, 1 double crochet into the second, 1 double crochet into the third stitch, and then 2 double crochet into the 4th stitch, and then that will bring you to your first back post double crochet in the second cable. So go ahead, finish the rest And when you get back to the beginning, come back, and then I'll show you how to move up to the next round and what my stitch count was. So I finished with 45 stitches in the round. You could see the wrong side, what it looks like. This is what it looks like. On the right side, you could see my 3 cables starting to form. Now you can go ahead, and again it should measure out perfectly where you ended the 2 back post double crochet. Then you can take and make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that would start our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th round. You can see the triangle starting to take shape as we make our increase rounds, and you can pretty much tell what the next increase round is going to be. So I'm going to show you what the next increase round is. So this is my first double crochet, 1 double crochet into the second stitch, 1 double crochet into the third stitch, 1 double crochet into the fourth stitch, and then 2 double crochet into that last stitch before the back post double crochet. So I have my first back post double crochet of the cables. And again, you're going to repeat the same pattern. 1 back post double crochet around the first post, 1 back post double crochet around the second post, and you can see how it's much easier now that the stitches are further apart, and you're becoming very proficient at the back post double crochets. So this is my 4th back post double crochet, and then I'm going to make 2 back post double crochet around the 5th post, and then repeat the set. So 1 back post double crochet around the next one, 1 back post double crochet around the second, 1 back post double crochet around the third, 1 back post double crochet around the fourth, and then your last back post before the space between your cables, you're going to make 2. And then you would just make the 1 double crochet into the next stitch, which is the space between, 1 into the second, 1 into the third, 1 into the fourth, and then 2 into that last stitch. And then that should bring you right to the back post of your next cable. And it's that simple. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way back to the beginning and then come back. So now I'm back to where I started, and I finished 54 stitches in the round. So this is where I stopped my increase rounds with this yarn. So with this yarn, this is the point where I started the design, but with my red heart yarn, I'm going to make 1 more increase round before I start my cable design. So it's up to you on the sizing of yours if you want to stop here and no longer make increase rounds for the stitches, which then you would not follow along for this next round that I'm making. But again, for this hat, I'm going to make 1 more increase round. So I'm going to go ahead and make a slip stitch into the top stitch, just like I did before, and then chain 3. And by now you know how to make the increase rounds. You could see the triangle forming, so it'd be, this counts as your first one. 1 double crochet into the second, 1 double crochet into the third. And again, for those not making increase stitches for this round, you wouldn't make this. So you would wait till I get to the design, and I'll let you know after this round. So here, I'm in my last stitch before my back post. I'm going to make 2 double crochet into this one. And then you would also repeat that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2. So I'm going to make 1 back post double crochet into the next 5 stitches. And then I'm going to make 2 back post double crochet around the next stitch, 6th stitch, and then repeat. So 5 and 2 on this round, this increase round. So go ahead, finish this increase round for those that are increasing still, and then when you come back, I'll show you the amount of stitches that I had, and then I'll show you the design for the cable. And we're no longer increasing stitches.